Get ready for a psychological horror episode. This is Mirror Image, episode 21 of season 1 of The Twilight Zone. It features as the protagonist the girl from Psycho, Vera Miles. You know, the girl that got stabbed while showering in that iconic scene. Well, this is her. She played Lily Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 Psycho. In the same year, February 26, 1960, she's in this episode of The Twilight Zone. And this is an episode that is good, but it's also one that's not as rewatchable as other Twilight Zones, because it keeps you interested during the whole time, wondering where this thing is going. The payoff is worth it without having a huge twist ending. I'll let Mr. Rod Serling, who wrote this episode, set the stage with his opening narration.
Millicent Barnes, age 25, young woman waiting for a bus on a rainy November night. Not a very imaginative type is Miss Barnes, not given to undue anxiety or fears, or for that matter, even the most temporal flights of fancy. Like most young career women, she has a generic classification as a, quote, girl with a head on her shoulders, end of quote. All of which is mentioned now because in just a moment, the head on Miss Barnes's shoulders will be put to a test. Circumstances will assault her sense of reality, and a chain of nightmares will put her sanity on a block. Millicent Barnes, who in 1 minute will wonder if she's going mad.
Yes, this girl Millicent is waiting at a bus stop in Ithaca, New York, and the first thing we see is that her briefcase keeps appearing, then disappearing. She talks to the guy at the ticket counter, and I do like this recreation of a 1960s bus stop, since people took buses and trains a lot more than they do now. And this ticket agent is here for the rest of the night. So he's doing the third shift and reminds her that it's been raining outside and the bus is going to be delayed. It should be here in about 30 minutes. He also tells her that she keeps asking him the same question over and over again, but she doesn't remember asking this question. She doesn't remember why her briefcase keeps disappearing, and she doesn't remember asking him about the bus either. First indication we have that there's something wrong with this bus stop. There's some magic going on here in the Twilight Zone that nobody can really understand. So while not a lot happens in this episode, it does enough to keep you interested. She goes into the bathroom. The person in the bathroom says that this is the second time she's come in here. She doesn't remember that. Her briefcase disappears again. Then we get introduced to a new character. She meets this guy from Birmingham named Paul Grinstead. She tells him about how she got a new job in Cortland where she's going to be a secretary. She tries to convince Paul that her briefcase is disappearing, and also that she's seen a double of herself sitting on the same bench that she was waiting at. And this does have a few jump scares. I also like the fact that while it's a one-room location, they do enough to mix it up. So she goes into the bathroom, she talks to the ticket booth, and she actually does go outside as well to try to get on this bus. So it doesn't feel as claustrophobic as it could be. It feels just inside this bus stop the entire time, because it's not exactly a marvel to look at. The bus finally arrives, she goes to get on it, and what does she see? The mirror image of herself. A doppelganger, if you will, sitting in this bus. She gets scared and of course runs away, and they do this in an effective jump scare, which you don't anticipate from these older series. They don't tend to do that very much. She starts putting together the pieces on what's exactly going on, and she talks about a parallel world where she has an evil double. She has to do something in this world to make this evil double go away, and for everything in this bus stop to go back to normal. And then what happens? Rod Serling mixing it up again. She just gets arrested. This comes out of nowhere. Paul is pretending to be her friend the entire time, like, yeah, we believe you. We totally agree that there's an evil doppelganger out there, while he's dialing 911 and just has her thrown in a police car. Another bit of a jump scare. So I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. It's a little above average. But as I mentioned in the beginning, this isn't one that I'd want to rewatch again. I think once is good enough. They don't actually come to any type of explanation of what exactly is going on. Okay, I guess we're in some type of parallel universe, but she doesn't actually solve the problem. She just gets thrown in jail, and then Paul has his briefcase disappear, and it seems like he's now going to be the victim of whatever evil force is ascending on this bus stop. It's mysterious, it's intriguing, but it's still a bit pedestrian, and just good enough for a low 6. So not much happens in the middle, where she's trying to find this doppelganger, but then she sees her double on the bus stop. She gets thrown in this cop car, and now Paul sees his double and is now running down the street, trying to chase him. So he finally does break free of this bus station. And of course, like I always complain about, I'd love to see longer chase scenes since they do a good job with it, but this only lasts about a minute or so. Have him running down the street trying to catch this guy. You find out it is a double of himself. Then the episode just ends. This episode is directed by John Bram, who was born in 1893. Amazing. And of course lived to the age of 89. Because starring in the Twilight Zone and directing them gives you the Fountain of Youth. Vera Miles is also still alive. She was born in 1930. And he's directed Time Enough at Last, Judgment Night, The Four of Us Are Dying, and he's going to do A Nice Place to Visit, which is episode 28. He'll direct 12 Twilight Zone episodes. In total, five of them from season 1. And Rod Serling does explain where he got the idea for this episode. Following an encounter at an airport, he noticed the man at the other side of the terminal who wore the same clothes and carried the same suitcase as himself, as he explains to this Dutch television series. But when he finally saw the man, Rod Serling remarked that he was much younger and more handsome than Mr. Serling himself. Not exactly a doppelganger. Next up is the infamous, the great, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, where lights start turning on and off in the subdivision, and the humans, as they tend to do, turn on each other. It's a great episode, and we'll be covering that in a few days. Also, check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. Black Mirror, Cowboy Bebop, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Tales from the Dark Side, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Monsters, Fear Itself, and Pet Shop of Horrors. Thanks a lot.